Hello and welcome to Formula Phil. Today I am just doing a kind of a short story and I hope you like it. This story concerns Ronnie Peterson, the super Swede, and Tim Schenken, the Australian Formula 1 driver, and also he was extremely successful in sports cars. Now, the year is 1972, and Ferrari have decided to team up Schenken and Peterson for the Daytona 6 Hour. They're actually driving the 312 PB. This is at the time where Ferrari was trying to dominate all classes of motorsport, so they brought over these two extremely fast drivers to try and stem Porsche winning in the Americas. Anyway, the night before the race happens, Ronnie and Tim decide to head out to Daytona Beach to see where they do the land speed record, of course. And they bring their own little hire car and try and do their own little land speed record attempts, I guess. So they're hammering up and down the beach. And of course, the police are called. And they don't stop. They just keep doing laps of the beach with police squad cars in tow. Tim Schenken, who was driving, decides to then try and launch up on a ramp to get off the beach and escape, but he hits it at around 70 miles an hour with so much force that the ignition keys pop out of the ignition and the car stalls. The cops swarm around and arrest both men, and that's when they realize they have no IDs on them. So they're brought back to the local police station and thrown in jail. All the time they're protesting, "We're Formula 1 drivers. We're brought here to race the Daytona 6 Hour tomorrow." And the cops just don't believe them. They're like, yeah, sure you are, boys. Hours pass, and after much pleading, they eventually agree to let Ronnie go back to the hotel and get their passports, while still holding on to Tim Schenken. So Ronnie jumps back into the hire car, and as he is leaving the police station car park, he decides to drop the clutch and rocket off down the road. The cops lose their minds. They all jump in the cars, and they start chasing him, leaving just Schenken alone with all these drunk guys. Another huge car chase ensues. But of course, he's Ronnie Peterson. They can't catch him, so they have to radio up ahead to cause a roadblock to finally capture the Super Swede. More time passes, and eventually they bring Ronnie back. And he's like looking pretty sheepish at this stage. And Tim is like, "Why did you do it?" And Ronnie just shrugged his shoulders and he was like, "Sure, why not?" It is now 2 a.m. and the boys are starting to worry because Daytona starts at 10 a.m. Again, after much pleading, they allow Tim one phone call. Tim doesn't know really who to call at this stage, so he just rings a fellow F1 driver, Peter Shetty. Peter doesn't know what to do, and he panics and rings Bill France. For those of you who don't know, Bill France is the founder of NASCAR. At the time, he actually owned the Daytona track, Daytona Speedway. He was Mr. Motorsport in America. He was also kind of affectionately or not so affectionately known as Big Bill, and he was not to be trifled with. Big Bill ain't so happy about being woken up at 4 a.m. But he talks to the cops and they let them go. The sheriff tosses the keys to Ronnie and says, "Don't you ever drive like that in my town again." Ronnie and Tim slip into their hire car, rent a car, and Tim says as soon as Ronnie got into the driver's seat, he starts smiling and he goes, "Please, Ronnie, don't do this." And Ronnie just laughs, dumps the clutch again and spins the wheels out of the car park and tears off towards the track. They hide in the pit lane, jumping from trailer to trailer, hiding in toilets, and just basically avoiding the cops who are looking for him everywhere. Tim lines up for the 10 a.m. start, and when the checkered flag comes down, the two boys come second after no sleep and all day hiding from the cops, as well as Big Bill. And I actually don't know what actually happens after that. I don't know if Big Bill finally did catch them. I'm sure he did. And I'm sure with his reputation that they didn't get off too lightly. Either way, I believe that they were just sent back to Europe where they continued on with their F1 season along with sports cars and stuff like that. But I think it's a brilliant story and very much a sign of the time story. You couldn't imagine Hamilton or Vettel doing anything like that now, which is a bit of a shame, isn't it really? But okay, look, that's it. I will be following up this video with an F1's Forgotten Heroes really shortly. It's kind of more of a light-hearted one, very much like this video, because it can't always be about the death and the misery, I guess. Jesus, yeah, there's plenty of good times as well. Anyway, that's really it. Hope you have a cracking day. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Well, anyway, thanks for watching again, and good.